Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special bonus reading for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Virgo, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Virgos, I hope that you're doing well. This bonus reading is all about what you're trying to alchemize right now. It's about taking all the kind of raw materials and creating something out of them, transforming something major in your life. So I'm going to be using two decks for your reading today. The first one is the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck for the overall energy, and the Pulp Tarot for your tarot reading. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Angels, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for Virgo, please? Big clump, big clump. Whoa, all right. These cards are a little difficult to shuffle just because they're bulky and hexagonal shaped, but we got there. This is amazing. Margarita Precocia, the new pearl. Margarita Precocia, the new pearl. Precocia. I don't know how to pronounce that. Precocia. Well, right off the, it's probably Latin of some kind, but that word reminds me of the word precious. It also reminds me of the word precocious, but more precious, like a pearl, right? Have you ever, I don't know how these things end up on my feed, but I've watched several videos of how different people around the world culture pearls. I don't know why they end up, maybe because I like look at channels that sell crystals and talk about crystals, and so it just kind of ends up on my page. But it is such a strange and wondrous process. Some might call it a cruel process of how to culture pearls. My pearls are all about the oyster being embedded either naturally or unnaturally with a grain of salt, and it's like it gets underneath their skin on the inside and or membrane or what have you, and it calcifies and it creates the pearl, and then the pearl is harvested. So I don't know why that's relevant, but it's almost as if there's been some kind of splinter energy in your life, like a splinter in your finger, but it's a splinter energy in your life, a wrench in the system, where you have had to alchemize it, perhaps, like you've had to adapt around it, work with it. You know, this buzzing in your ear, the thorn in your side, that was something that was once a annoyance to you, now becomes perhaps a lesson that is valuable, or a skill set of adaptability that you didn't have before. Right? Whenever we're placed in a position where we have to do something that's outside of our comfort zone, we might procrastinate about it for a little bit, but eventually we'll get there. And then it just becomes a skill set that we have, or a knowledge base from which we can derive information. This says it's the new pearl. Right off the bat too, I see this, it's weird, but I see this as like a door knocker. So it's almost like this is some kind of magical fourth dimension door knocker, and you're just tap, 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 knocking on the door to spirit. The new pearl, something kind of flashy, something that is drawing your attention, something that perhaps is drawing the attention of a lot of people. I suddenly saw this situation where you may be in competition with others for this flashy new thing. But you're the one that has the bravery. You know why? Because I see this triangle. It's like it's energy. Not everyone can touch that in order to tap, tap, tap. Not everyone has the ability to be able to manipulate this energy in order to knock on the door to spirit. So I feel like in some scenario in your life, whether it's like a job situation or like a relationship or like whatever, somehow you have the upper hand, you have the advantage. Because you're less, it's like you see the shiny thing, but you're more focused on the mechanism to the mechanism behind the inner workings of something. The shiny thing is merely kind of a distraction of sorts. At least that's how you're regarding it. I also suddenly just saw this as a kind of handle. Imagine if the card was like this and you were lifting up the pyramid and lifting something out of the card, like a lantern. Like this would be the top of the lantern and you're just lifting it up. Or safe deposit box. You're pulling it out this way like a drawer. I don't know what that's about. I've never pulled this card before. I have no idea what, I'm going to read from the book at the end. I have no idea what the book is going to say, but that's what I'm getting from that. Let me know what's in that safe deposit box. I'm so curious. I'm going to pull 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier. There's no past, present, future. It's just a channeled message of what Virgo is alchemizing at this time. It's so funny. I just have to stop for a second. 4 cards are on the ground. Look at that card. Talk about a safe deposit box. Okay. Okay. So the first card that I'm going to bring up is the King of Swords. This is Gemini energy. King of Swords talks about somebody who is often regarded as an expert in their field, an authority figure, someone who has a lot of clout, a lot of education and experience. It's hard to question the King of Swords because they've done their due diligence. They've looked at something from all angles. They're very strategic and very discerning, interested in the truth with that sword. When the card is in reverse, however, it's almost as if there's some kind of insecurity that you or somebody you know, I feel like this is talking about you, but there's some insecurity that you may feel as if you don't have all the answers right now, that you know, but you're aware of it. Like, you know that you're lacking in some information that may be vital to understanding a situation more fully. So let's just say, for example, this represented the proverbial safe deposit box. And inside that safe deposit box, there was a set of instructions. But the set of instructions is in, I don't know, Turkish. And you don't speak Turkish. Or maybe you speak Turkish, but it's a certain dialect, right? You're smart, and you can figure out how to interpret the instructions or whatever is on that piece of paper, but there's lacking information. It's a very kind of very superficial example, but it's just to elucidate there's this deficit of knowledge in some sense. With the Four of Cups in the reverse, clarifying it, the Four of Cups talking about being given something from Spirit. You can see the hand coming through the window with the cup. That's to represent Spirit giving you the Ace of Cups, or something that will speak to your emotional space, speak to your heart space. The Four of Cups, though, as an energy, is somebody who's very blasé, apathetic, complacent, not bothered to care. And we'd all go through this period. Sometimes we're just so, it's like burnout energy. Like you're so burned out, like you don't, like anything could happen and you're just not bothered to care. It's like being overwhelmed by social media, or, you know, things flying in the sky. I mean, some people are freaking out and some people are just not. They're just not freaking out. I'm not freaking out because, like, what am I going to do about it, right? So there's this sense here, however, with the fact that this card is in reverse. It's that it's almost like if this represents air energy and this represents water energy. Air is all about the cerebral, water is all about the emotional. It's almost like Spirit is trying to have you approach a problem in a way that you wouldn't normally, whereas you would look at a situation and say, well, that requires a very discerning eye and a rational approach. Spirit is stepping in to say, or does it involve the heart? Does it involve the instinct? Does it involve the intuition? Maybe this one time, maybe you could try it. We're trying to give it to you. What does this have to do with Spirit? The Ten of Swords in reverse. So some situation that kind of leveled you or took you by surprise, really threw you off your game, flattened you, like this can also be backstabbing energy. Not that you are backstabbing, that it's something that has been plaguing you. This is the thorn in your proverbial side. Trying to understand it, trying to figure it out, trying to get over it. When the Ten of Swords is in reverse, difficult for us to get over something that has affected us so profoundly in a negative way. This is not saying that this is going to happen. This has already occurred. Spirit's just making a comment about it right now. This is what you're dealing with. This whole reading is about what you're trying to transform at this time. Right? So you think, okay, well, something is trying to appeal to my heart space. Knight of Cups is your next card out. Knight of Cups is somebody who is not just a messenger of love, of friendship and compassion, but also a doer. The Knights act on things. And this one is, all the Knights, when they're in the upright, but especially this one and the Knight of Pentacles, very authentic gestures of love and friendship coming your way. Somebody who is going to prove to you through their actions how a heart-based approach may work out. And when you come face to face with this person, then and only then will there be this potential for the World card to close out that chapter. This is number 21 of the Major Arcana. Major Arcana representing big energies, divinely guided energies in the tarot. The World card ends the Major Arcana. It's like we've closed down a cycle, a chapter, and we're opening a new one. So this is how I like to describe that concept, which is if I asked you to name the top 5 kind of monumental or life-changing moments of your life, I'm sure you'd be able to think about it for a moment, and then you'd probably be able to list 5 fairly quickly. And they don't all have to be bad, earth-shattering things. Oh, it was when my grandma died, or it doesn't have to be like that. It could be, but it could be, like for me, one of them, not all, but one of them for me would be a particular concert that I attended in New York City. Life-changing. Life-changing. I've attended several, I'm so lucky, but top 5, it makes the top 5, and I've had a pretty crazy run of things, as we all have. When we look back on our lives, it's just like, how did I survive all this, you know? So, but you can mark that moment in your mind, in your history, and you can say, that was the moment. That was the moment when my life up-leveled, where I leapt into another place of consciousness, where my experience of the world would never be the same. So it's almost like this person outside of you is going to give you a glimpse of how things can really begin to heal. I don't know if it's going to be like they're going to share a story with you. They're going to do something kind for you. It's going to restore your faith in, I don't know, humanity and family and in love, in friendship. It's something really nice. It feels really nice. It feels like a warm and fuzzy feeling that I get from it. Okay. I asked in my mind, I should have said it out loud, but I was like, okay, what's the warm and fuzzy feeling about? What's a clarifier? Okay, these 3 cards came out. The 7 of Swords in the reverse. I think it's hilarious. There's got to be something to it. Look at what she's, I mean, this is a safe, but a safe deposit box. It's very strange. I mean, I know what these cards look like, but like, I'm not consciously trying to predict what the images that are going to show. Like, I don't have the brain space for that. 7 of Swords in the reverse, the 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Pentacles. This is happiness. This is abundance. Any way you stretch it. The only thing that would make this situation better was a Sun card and a Wheel of Fortune. But in the Minor Arcana, which is the actions and events that happen in the material world, Virgo, you cannot get any better than 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. It is coupled with the 7 of Swords, but the 7 of Swords is in reverse. We can see here that the 7 of Swords is kind of a little sneaky, looking behind her back. Remember when I said there's a piece of paper inside, and for some reason it's like in a language we don't understand, we have to figure out? What's that about? I don't know. Somebody tell me if that resonates with you, because I don't know what that's about. But there's Spirit drawing the attention to it. 7 of Swords is sneaky thievery energy in some cases, but in the reverse, it's kind of like, it's not something that you have to look over your shoulder. That this beautiful energy, 10 of Cups is bliss, fulfillment, wish fulfillment. 10 of Pentacles is stability, good finances, good health, family, friendships. It's the whole kit and caboodle. It's also 10-10. You got 3 10s so far in your reading. There are a lot of things that are gonna close out for you. 10s always close things out. It's amazing. It's very synchronous. But it's this energy where you don't have to constantly look behind your back because you received something beautiful. Don't you deserve it? Don't you believe that you deserve it? If you don't believe that, start getting into that place of manifestation where you trick yourself into believing it. You believe it to see it. It's just your brain. Your brain creates your reality. Here we are with the Three of Pentacles. This is collaboration and co-creation with Spirit. Again, knocking on the door. Knocking on the door. And it's almost like I really see this as energetic. And it's like you have to reach this certain space of consciousness to be able to envision the cosmic key in your hand, to be able to tap on that door. Look, you see? You see that? That's crazy to me. There's so many ways that the Three of Pentacles can be rendered across any tarot deck, right? I chose this deck intuitively. I choose all the decks intuitively when I set out to do a reading. It's not a coincidence, and please treat it as something that is synchronous. This is like Spirit's giving you the roadmap. It's just you having to figure out how it works for you. Part of that, however, might be involving your life's blueprint, the Judgment card, number 21 in the Major Arcana in reverse. Judgment card can talk about bringing up something from the past, from the dead. Could be a gift, skill, ability, a spiritual gift that you used to have, that you used to... I was just talking with a friend about this, another Cancerian friend, and she was talking about, I think, and I've told her this, that she has deep psychic and otherworldly things in her family lineage. Like, it just runs in their blood, right, and in her culture. So she told me about some crazy stuff that happened to her when she was a kid that she kind of tried to tamp down, right? Because it's like having an imaginary friend. At some point, you grow up enough to where no one else sees that imaginary friend, and you're like, okay, I guess they're not real, and I'm going to tell myself they're not real. I never had an imaginary friend, but I mean, one could say that my spirit team is now the friends in my consciousness, and I imagine them as energy, but there could be something from your past where you're unlocking that now, that co-creation with Spirit. You're unlocking that gift, which is going to enable you to open the door. Something you could have pressed down a long time ago. Do you know how rare it is to get all 4 tens of all 4 suits of the tarot in the same reading? It may have happened once in the whole time I've been reading tarot. I don't even know what to make of that. It's just cycles of completion. They're very strong. It's almost like you know it too, because this feels like threshold energy. It's like once you open the door and you step through, there's no going back. This came out to clarify that sense of whatever it was from your past. There's a part of you that just, it's like, why do we have to drag that up again? I think for some Virgos, you have not wanted to face whatever that is that I'm talking about. Maybe it's not a gift. Maybe it's a memory. Maybe it's a memory that you want to heal from, but it's too painful to heal from, so you just kind of press it down. I don't know. The Ten of Wands talks about burden. But when the card is in reverse, it's like we're not able to let go. We're not able to face it and deal with it in order to put it down. When the card is in the upright, that's when we can start to move through the energy. Right now it's stagnant. So Spirit's kind of showing me that I don't know, maybe it's just that you have to let go of a old narrative that you had about yourself, that you weren't special. This would beg to differ. I'm going to read from the book, The New Pearl. XLIV. The New Pearl. Grit, irritation, and waiting. The new pearl is one of the great promises of alchemy. From a single grain of sand, the pearl forms slowly but surely in the salty mouth of the oyster. The new pearl emerges as an alchemical miracle, a sight unimaginable at the outset. That said, the process is generated from irritation itself. Such is the medicine of the new pearl card. The work is underway, but the gem has not yet been formed. Don't become petty and hasty, seeking a return on your efforts. Rather, turn to patience, consistency, and humility to remedy the discomfort. Let the magic of time and salt water do its work. Relax, believe, and support a fellow alchemist in finding the grit that will become their pearl. Don't worry about you right now. The entire ocean is your ally. Water energy. That's your reading, Virgo. That felt really special. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Virgo.